Chapter 14.
Funko Pop's historically not good at their jobs.
Lost
I mean,
Powers.
fair.
Have you ever seen like a Funko Pop working at a Starbucks? I don't think so. That's the entire
We're at the
process.
2/3 mark of this video game.
I would not be surprised if Funko Pops literally worked in this video game.
Are you okay?
Just like an entire building full of Funko Pops sitting at computers totally motionless,
Yeah.
just staring with their dead plastic eyes at
And
their
you've had that
monitors.
dream too.
I have. Well, you call it a dream, but it's more like a nightmare.
What is this place?
But yeah, it looks like we're at the 2/3 mark of this game, and also Edgar disappeared, so that's kind of nice.
I see you're getting electrocuted by your tattoo. That sucks.
I have no nostalgic connection to FF6, but I know a lot of people do, so say that.
I mean, I hear it's pretty okay. I played it like the first chunk of it on emulator ages ago.
I
It
mean,
was alright.
if memory serves, this is the first time we're seeing any cameo characters in anything remotely a villainous role. But
yeah, although I don't have face.
Edgar's
That's
deal in
because
Final
everyone knows
Fantasy
that
VI is that he's
Do you
faking
know
it anyway. So
where we are?
he
He
does
loves
it twice.
faking.
Giants, eh? Now,
So
what did you
that's
do
probably
thrown
happening.
into this sorry
Yeah,
place?
yeah.
Huh?
I want to see his palette swap
This is a
version.
prison situated beneath Figaro
Yes,
Castle.
it's Gerard.
Dude, prison?
Yeah, Gerard.
Well, they call it prison, but it's more like a death sentence.
I really am still kind of disappointed Final Fantasy
Stay way
VI
out of here.
doesn't just take whatever
Wouldn't
name
that
you
be
made
nice?
Edgar
But
be
you
and
can
rearrange
forget
it for
about
that character.
Rearrange-
You won't
Yep,
find any
dumb.
human guards, because
That would've been fun.
Particularly if you name something like Bob.
That hunt down all who try to escape.
Oh, it's good old Bob.
Years, getting loaded. 15 years till his liver exploded. What's Bob gonna do
How's a
now
little
that
prisoner
he
like
can't
me to do?
drink?
But I
That's makes
suppose
it fairly
I
Said, what you think
Figaro
about?
stumbled
Bob
upon
said
this
that's a
place some
problem.
years ago.
I don't
That makes
think about
fairly
Decided
nothing.
to enlist
I gotta do something.
Nobody can hear anything over Pete singing.
Hey, hey, pass the time. We went and shaved his head. Got a new
The
identity.
site was abandoned.
Fate. Fate,
No.
fate,
The
fate.
worst of
What?
Figaro's
I love you, man, but
crimes.
shut the fuck up for a minute.
No.
So
Okay.
that makes a fairly solid point that it's very strange to hear a
Do it
deep
now.
voice that sounds vaguely like Bob and you're coming out of a Funko Pop.
One more thing. I've managed to stockpile some supplies. Best prices in prison.
Okay, I found that stupid thing I was trying to find ages ago. The bus
Yeah.
cop man.
Okay.
Okay, the idea was they basically found a skull, and it might have just been somebody with hydrocephaly. They aren't sure,
Submerging.
Yeah.
but they found a couple of them.
The castle did
I
seem
believe
to
in
appear out
like
of nowhere.
the area that would have been
Maybe the
ancient
first
Britain,
time they poked around here,
Yeah.
like you know,
castle
with the
flopped
continents
forward,
moving and shit.
and they ended up having to
Early
redraw all
version
the
of humanity,
At least
where the
that's
brain
story.
was just enormous, and they figured at the time, and this has probably all been disproven several times over
Probably
now.
been debunked a few times.
Probably been debunked a few times, but the idea was, oh, these guys probably had like a median IQ of 140 in a time when it was much more useful to be able to beat an animal to death with a stick.
I mean, they're starting with IQ for the range, so I'm already.
I mean, yeah, no, IQ is a terrible, like, often racist way of like measuring shit. But they were
And also-
saying that like
Yeah.
if this thing was what we think it was, then basically it was too smart for the era, and it would have just been like, oh,
Tama,
I have no
Anything about
future.
this?
I guess I'll just die.
It succumbed to existential ennui.
Yeah, no, it just had existential ennui when everything else was still figuring out language.
Where are you?
I cannot imagine the live journals those creatures created.
wait, dude.
They didn't have live journals. That's the problem.
Where's our power?
No, they
Oh,
clearly would have
fuck.
invented them.
There's nowhere to put them.
Neanderthal man threw a big rock at my big head again.
Diaz,
Current mood,
Oh,
quizzical.
which probably meant fuck you,
get out
nerd.
of here.
For sure.
Currently playing on my Winamp.
Still, without Tama,
Currently customizing my Winamp skins.
Yeah.
We're not gonna.
Neanderthals had Winamp, right?
Oh man, did you see that link of that I saw going around like a month or so ago that was just like a library of infinite scroll Winamp
how'd
skins?
we do
Yes.
this without any mirages?
It was just like, oh no.
Gotta try.
It's still weirding me out that we're 14 chapters into a 21 chapter.
I mean, we're making good progress. I'm not certain if this is like a battle we're supposed to lose, or if I'm going to use like an item here to make things better. But
Remember when
you can win.
Remember when you went to Nibelheim for 3 minutes?
yes, and there was talk a moment ago of one of the keys being hidden in Mako, and apparently Figaro is working with Shinra, and they just keep throwing these things out there, and it's like, please, can we get back to that?
Can we have that be what's happening rather than a thing that keeps getting referenced?
I mean, I'm glad we're fighting
job.
Magitech armor. That's at least cool.
That's cute. Seeing that like mixed with Shinra, since like it was clear that that was like where their ideas for the ideas they poured into Vector clearly like germinated into Shinra.
Oh
so,
yeah, absolutely.
So it's like cute to see them acknowledge that.
No.
I like the fact that we
Okay,
killed
so
this thing, but now after the battle, it's still alive and menacing us.
Okay, so I'm
Big
literally the
robot.
person who all cares about this, but it turns out most of like the theorization about the Boss Cop man was just one nerd who wrote a book about like
Pete,
human
shut up!
intelligence.
It's Small Squall!
Oh shit, small squall!
Small.
Oh, yes, I'm fine.
Whatever.
Thank you.
Just gonna call him Leon.
I am very upset that he didn't introduce himself.
A little
Just
too close.
whatever.
Squall. First.
He's in full hero mode.
What's this?
A box?
Then he should have said whatever. That's what he said.
A kind of
No,
artifact
that's like what he
with
learns
some
to be
minor
less like.
improvements. You might
I
say
didn't
it's
play
kind of
FFA, and neither did
those
you.
things that
Don't lie.
I
coders use
did.
to contain mirage.
You
I
said
spent
on
Maybe
this
Mary?
very Let's Play
Ah.
that you couldn't get past the card game.
No, I said the card game
You
sucks.
can just think of it like a prismarium.
Very different.
The only difference.
So
is that
you're
Elm
saying
Box
that you
is
literally
for
played the
capturing
game in spite of that?
machines, not mirages.
Yes, because I've
That's
gotten it for
impressive.
Christmas.
Give it a
Really
try.
bad. I'm
I got
sorry.
it for Christmas, jackass.
Oh, that's right. We were children. We just played whatever we got for Christmas. I forgot.
Yeah,
I forgot we were
it.
children.
I got Aiden Grandia the same Christmas, and I spent a long time trying to convince myself I liked FF8.
Too cool.
We all made mistakes as children. We were
It's like-
children.
Like, the Squall, like, character archetype was the thing Square tried to get right several times, and it doesn't feel like they finally got it down until fucking, like, World Ends With You, where they did that archetype, but had everyone else react with, like, oh, this guy again.
This fucking guy. Wasn't the Squall archetype just the Cloud archetype, but like magnified?
The difference is that Cloud is implied to essentially have, like, to have artificially stunted himself to some degree.
I mean,
Whereas
isn't that what Squall
Squall's-
did?
No, Squall's thing. Are you okay, Cordy? Okay.
I'm listening. I'm listening. I'm not being a dick about this.
No, I was looking at the string.
Oh, that's a very good name for a robot. Good job.
But Squall's thing was that he was like that he was a teenager who just never learned to deal at all.
I mean, he was a teenager. I can't really fault
Yeah.
him for that.
Me?
Yeah, like that was the thing, is that like he's a teenager that's never really learned to deal with that.
I mean, I didn't learn to deal until I was like 26.
And like that's the thing, is like, but he's doing the douchebaggy teenager thing of just like, oh, these people, and it's just like, come on, man, I don't want to be inside your head the entire game.
He's doing the Y2K thing.
Just to fill me in.
Oh god, kind of less offensive, but kind of.
She gave us the fast
But
craft.
I mean, it's
Yeah,
hard to be
like-
more Y2K. Y2K
Yeah.
is offensive deeply.
Whereas World Ends With You, like, we get
Right.
plenty of like
She's an officer,
Neku's
in fact.
like subconscious, but like it's much more directly contrasted against the healthier attitudes around him. So I feel like the actual like archetype works better in there. And it's also not clashing with like 5 million other ideas the way that FF8 is. Goggle Bob, how do you feel about Nord?
I mean, the thing is that obviously I wrote like a long ass article about this like 5 years ago. But my basic theory on Final Fantasy VIII is that it's one of the more surprisingly cohesive games in the Final Fantasy Pantheon.
Easier argument.
It has something in mind that it wants to do, and that's specifically like friendship is important. And I realize that like shows up in like shonen anime constantly and that kind of stuff.
That's literally the entire point of shonen anime.
Trying to
but
approach it from a different direction.
in this case, it's like very much the core of literally everything that happens, and with that in mind, like, you know, a creature that either turns into a fun like cat man or turns into a big fat mind flayer, whether or not it's a jackass or not, seems very appropriate.
Norg is weird, mostly because, again, like, a lot of the game's ideas, like, do point to that eventually, but, like, it's also just, it doesn't draw those connections very well. So if you don't spend your time looking for it, you just see the alien under the school that was funding it, and then you killed it, and then it's never spoken of again.
Yeah, and then it's never addressed, like, where did you guys even meet?
How did this happen? How did you become the angel investor for this horrible military seed thing?
Wait, an angel investor? Like the guy with more money than sense who just is like, yeah, sure.
But I don't think she ever mentioned.
Yes.
Yeah, except he's like
It
a
was
squid
Edgar.
monster.
The guy who
He's a
Fucked up.
squid monster that's paying for children to go out and do war.
And like, yeah, it's like a mercenary
You've
thing,
seen
but
the anchor
we
that's
secretly
latched
kill
onto the desert
witches.
Edgar's kingdom.
And also, the
Yeah?
primary witch we're supposed to kill is our headmaster's ex-wife.
We'll meet the
Okay,
Coincidentally.
At that point, your principle is just, hey, so, you know who you really need to kill? I got all these alimony payments, I'm just not gonna make them.
Are you sure that this...
Zeph points out the weirdest part about Norg is that he punctuates all of his sentences by going boo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo.
Yep.
You go to the Shubi village that's full of Norgs and they all speak normally.
Edgar sent you here as part of the operation.
Just
Isn't that
fair.
just fucking Tora from fucking, oh god, I'm back on Xenoblade Chronicles 2. How did I get here? What mistakes have I made in life that led me to this point?
Zeph also points out FF8 Sid should not post on our MIDS.
Apparently, the real thorns in their side are kept somewhere between life and
Whatever.
I mean, I absolutely believe that FF8 would post on that one and then be genuinely surprised by
life
the
and
answer.
Death. Sounds like what that...
Like, they'd be like, whoa, really? You think? No, you guys
You guys just don't have enough context.
you just,
Our target.
you're lacking important context.
Swarming with all
Be careful!
But yeah, like I feel like my most venom for Final Fantasy games is reserved for the ones that I can see what they're trying to do and think that they're not doing it very well. That's why, like,
That's the bet of my whole everything.
that's why, like, 8 pisses me off in a special way. It's like, oh, there's so much here that almost works and none of it quite comes together for me.
I mean, 8
Like,
is
I
one of the
don't
few
think
Final
it was-
Fantasies that I feel like, complete with the card game, they really, really tried to give you, like, all sorts of options on, like, how you could approach problems.
And they
and
give
just-
you no straightforward one.
Right, and
Well,
just
that makes
none of
sense
them really 100% work.
We were hoping that
Like,
you
the
two
straightforward
would be able to
one,
keep
like,
the
that they're
mirages
trying to
at
steer
bay.
you away from is the one that's,
Except,
like, a
it looks like
miserable,
your powers
tedious
have
way to
been
play the game.
suppressed.
Yeah, which is just
Well,
continually
we
summoning.
don't really know.
Summoning and
We
drawing,
haven't
and it's just
been
like, oh, that's awful. There needed to be a better way around this. And, like, there are tons, but, like, none of them are obvious, and all of them are require you
If we
to
have to do
like
this without
engaging
any
with
keepers,
specific
then
parts
yes,
of the game that I
the
don't
master
like the
plan
cards.
is toast.
So it's,
Yeah,
it's
and
been
really, like, they make it, I don't know even how it would be
But
approached properly,
The
but
operation's in motion.
it's something I looked for when I was replaying Final Fantasy VIII, that they definitely present the card
No.
game to you as,
League of
like,
Us has an
this is
agent on
important,
site.
maybe you should
I
try it.
think she can
But by
remove
the same
suppressors.
token, like, they do the same thing with, like,
It's possible, but I can't promise
snowboarding
you.
in Final Fantasy VII, so it's kind of natural that you ignore it, like, okay, here's our fun mini game du jour, call it a day. And you
Okay,
never
well,
realize that.
snowboarding in Final Fantasy VII is actually fun.
a lot of people love the card game. I'm definitely in the minority, but like my response would be, don't lock card refining behind like 3 layers of learning skills on a specific Guardian course.
Yes, that's definitely a thing.
Like, if you want players to know it's important, just give them the ability to do it without having to learn it in, like, a really arbitrary fashion.
Oh, right!
I think I'm supposed to be, like, capturing robots for both characters here, but I'm just arbitrarily, like, destroying them.
It's okay to kill robots. They don't have souls.
I can't promise you.
Wow.
Am I wrong?
10,000 years I'm free! Time to conquer Earth!
Let's press on. It's possible, but I can't promise you.
Fucking Mighty Morphin Power Ranger. Too good for.
Let's press
Well,
on.
at the same time, being far too bad for this world.
Johnny 5 does have a soul, thank you. But yeah, like, I don't know, I love that opening. Also, like, unironically love the first, like, 4 Power Rangers themes.
Look, like, Power Rangers was a bad TV show, but it had a fucking awesome theme song.
Also, the Bulk and Skull music is the most powerful clown music that has been composed in the past 100 years.
The
Yes,
most
that's it.
powerful.
Okay, this will forever piss me off, and when I say forever, I do mean forever.
You will be howling it by the time that they force your bones into a grave.
Yeah, exactly, right? Like I will remember this as the like faces of my loved ones deteriorate from my memory. They made an entire Power Rangers movie, right?
Yeah.
Like in 2018. And this was a movie with a budget. They had money, right?
And no Bulk and Skull theme.
Not even that. Like, the entire point, like, I thought of doing that was to have, like, some hotshot upcoming band play the song with particular importance, with particular attention paid to the solo, right?
Yeah.
They played the song for all of 6 seconds, and it was not part of the song that was the solo. Right? They did not play that in the movie proper. Like, I think it plays during the credits at some point, like, after you've, like, sat for, like, 5 minutes. Where they're, like, going through, like, all the special effects guys. And you're like, how could you make this choice?
I like how the reason they don't start every fight with the Megazord is like buried 2 verses deep into the theme song. Let me see if I can get these lyrics up here. I don't want to misquote them.
Like, I'm just saying, the entire point of making a movie about Power Rangers is to play the song. And they did not play the song. They played Kanye West's Power, which, fair, good song, but not the song.
Good reference. At the same time, there should be, like, the entire, like, theme song should be playing at some point in that film. You've got, like, 2 hours of film.
Yeah, exactly. You have all these opportunities to play it. So I'm watching it and I'm like, okay, they just combined all their like robots for the first time. This is where they will play the song. And they did not play the song. And I'm like, okay, well now they're marching towards the robot like with fucking determination. Like it's that one like shot JoJo where he's just stomping towards Dio like, I'm gonna fuck this man up. This is the moment they will play the song, but the song, it did not play. So many moments where I'm thinking, surely they will play the song now, and they didn't.
Like tears in the rain.
Like, it was just so bizarre to me. I couldn't understand why they weren't playing the song, when the entire reason the movie exists was so that we could have an opportunity to play the song.
Now I'm looking up what Ron Wasserman has done in the past decades, and I'm really hoping that I'm not going to be really sad when I Google him.
I really don't think you're going to be happy when you do that. That just seems like a recipe for sadness.
Okay, he's done some Power Rangers works recently. He does not seem to have ever gone record politically one way or the other, so I don't have to be too sad.
Okay, well, here's hoping.
All right.
Yeah. Let's see. Did a bunch of... Oh man, he released 2 original songs as downloadable content for Rock Band.
if my understanding is correct, the man playing the song in the Power Rangers theme, and when I say the song, you all know what I mean by the song.
Yeah.
Was played the actual solo part was done by Buckethead, who is a rock star who wears a KFC bucket on his head.
We all must know Buckethead.
That must be the
I'm
edge.
worried
I know.
some of us might not know Buckethead.
I'm concerned by that idea.
I am concerned by that as well.
Sweet Jesus.
I'm going to put this picture of Buckethead in the chat so we can all
That's not
appreciate
right.
what Buckethead looks like.
Oh, what?
This is not okay.
I'm very upset by what I'm about to see because I was in other chat. I was in
You
another
won't
chat.
recognize why you should be.
Yeah, I was about to say, yeah, you're not going to know why. It's just know that it is wrong.
I mean, I'm looking at it and I'm just like, all right.
Show here is from Dirge of Cerberus.
Yes.
Fuck that game.
Don't admit to the existence of such a game.
And
Nobody-
Shelby just killed
nobody-
us
nobody-
all.
Leaves in Dirge of Cerberus. We all refuse to acknowledge Dirge of Cerberus.
And this particularly is the character that, like, got turned into, due to evil science, got turned into Rei Ayanami from Neon Genesis Evangelion.
That upsets me on deep levels.
She's like
Because
permanent
Rei upsets-
15-year-old that is like, what is this thing you call love?
That's
Dirge of Cerberus is
Not the
bad.
character of Rei. That's what the I hesitate to say this. That's what the Dojin artist projected onto Rei.
Fair.
Ray's actual character.
And that's like
what if humanity
the
is
harshest diss I
from?
can come up
Kind
with.
of.
There is no method they can utilize that I can't neutralize.
Don't acknowledge that this happened.
This is bizarre that they've decided to include this character.
This feels like one of those things where they were like, fans love obscure characters. Bring in Benjamin from Mystic Quest, you cowards.
Oh god, please?
Oh god! I like its face even less when it's up close.
Just give the excuse to play some Mystic Quest music. All the Mystic Quest music's really good.
Yeah, Mystic Quest
You know, the
is
Mystic
excellent.
Quest characters would actually be really at home in this, come to think of
They
it.
would fit perfectly here, and they would fit perfectly as Funkos.
When they said they were all fixed, that upset me.
Did I talk about how like Benjamin's name in the Japanese version is like way like more trying to be cool? I think he's called Zash.
That is amazing.
Yes,
10, 5 out of 5 would hear again.
Zash
I
the
love the camera,
Zampede.
just like literally standing in front of the guest character so it can be center camera. And guest character's just like, whatever, I don't give a shit.
I was completely in control.
Okay, well, it's a giant pain in the ass to look this up now because there's apparently a character named Zash, 2 characters named Zash in FF14 or some shit, but...
You're the bestest.
Okay,
I don't
yes.
have time for that.
It's Zash with a Z, right? Because Zap is thinking it's Sash like a belt.
No, Zash with a Z, and yeah, I found, like, the Final Fantasy Wiki agreed with me that in Japan he was called Zash.
Why not just Ash? That's both cooler and less tryhard.
Zash is more... Zash is more powerful to me.
Because it's more tryhard.
Like, it's a very fun, like, 90s, like, what's a cool name that you wouldn't hear in Japanese very much?
Okay, fair enough. I'll take it.
Give back the Cactuar. We barely got any time with him.
I mean, yeah, like, I assumed when they gave you back your stuff, you'd have the ability to immediately, like, access it, but maybe not? Maybe we have to go sit through another cinema scene where they talk about how great this guest character is?
I love Shell.
I'm already, like, trying to think, because, like, Goggle Bob, you know I'm going to demand another chunk of video to write up for this one.
Okay.
I'm already trying to, like, think which one I want to write up, because basically I just want the one where I said the most cuss words. So I
You
leave
were
that to
surprisingly calm tonight.
Good luck.
What are you talking about? I'm already shit hammered. I've been shit hammered for like 2 hours.
Okay, it's getting late, so what I am going to do is we're going to stop back at Starbucks Land. Is Zeph still watching?
Yeah.
As of 5 minutes ago, yes.
Okay.
We still have the same number of viewers. I assume that Zeph is not swapped out.
Yeah, he has spoken quite recently in the chat, so we can assume.
So
Yes, he's still here. We have verbal confirmation.
All
Or
right.
textual confirmation.
Because
Hi,
just
Zeph.
since there were questions.
We love you. We're sorry you watched this. I am. Maybe Goggle Bob.
We have so many things to apologize for. When are you going to take down that thing from the beginning of the game?
Oh yeah, I keep forgetting about that.
Well, once you get your monsters back.
I love that, like, for the anime teens, it's an option to just stop being the heroes and just go back to being baristas.
I mean, that seems easier.
I just realized that our main boy here does the whole one hand in his pocket thing when he's when he's idling.
I mean, shit, I do that. I can't really hate
I've done
that.
that, yeah.
Like, he's trying to be cool.
It's not
I'm
even
always
trying.
trying to be
He
cool.
doesn't know what to do with his hands. That's normal.
That's true. I always feel like self-conscious when they're just sort of dangling at my sides. So.
Yeah.
You know that really big mirage we have? Why is it so huge?
Like, that's probably the most relatable thing about Anime Team. Because there's, like, plenty of stuff about him that I just do not relate to at all.
Choco-ching! Welcome to the...
Here's our little Chocolina, or Chocolate, whatever the hell.
We have
it is.
Chocolina? Oh,
Don't-
god damn it.
Don't bring her back up.
I'm so mad.
Thank you!
This is the magical Starbucks that these characters actually live in. Oh, this is the mall. There's a Tonberry there, as most malls have. There's the Starbucks. Can we not go back into Starbucks? That's lame.
We cannot. We can't walk through the same stream twice. Can never return to Starbucks.
As you would.
Talk to
I love how, like, Starbucks has, like, a title, has, like, a sign over it that's obviously supposed to be English, but also garbled to all hell.
Well, I mean, this was originally designed for the Vita, so it probably looked okay on that.
I'm sure it did. No doubt.
Okay, let's get our buddies back.
It reminds me more of anything else than Dropsy, which has language in it all over the place, but it's all very intentionally garbled. It's just a cipher of English, like you can translate it if you want to, but the entire idea is that whatever you are is so alien that you can't really understand it. It doesn't really matter. It is an adventure game with no spoken text and no text that needs to be read.
That sounds
It is
horrifying.
kind of
Star Fox.
Star Fox.
Oh, I can sort them by level. See who have we got that's like still like level 1. Well, I guess all the guys. I'm kind of amused that you actually pick up literally everything at level 1 when you first find it. So I guess that's kind of a way of like balancing these creatures, because theoretically I could just put anybody back into my party and they're going to level up quickly.
I mean, yeah, I guess. Kind of. Sort of.
I am trying to give the game credit here. Please agree with me.
No. No.
I am
I will
doing
never-
my best.
I will never give World of Final Fantasy credit. For anything. Like, there are plenty of things I like about this game, but I will refuse to give them credit.
This is
I am
fair.
not interested in being fair to World of Final Fantasy.
Maybe you can bring one of these flans with me. I guess, do we have more space now? It seems like I'm able to have more guys. Oh, I gotta bring iron nuts.
Why call them iron nuts when you can call them balls of steel?
You gave me a name, alright? That's all I had. Okay, so Ren is trading out a robot for a cactuar on her head because that is the way of the thing.
That's much better. A marked improvement in every possible way.
And I guess we can try. Let's try integrating iron nuts into the party. And 420 blaze it.
Good old 420 blaze it.
Alright, we'll upgrade some mirage boards. As the capper for this evening, we're going to visit the woman with no name, or whatever her name is.
Oh,
Her
we
name
don't
is
have to, do
her
we?
name. That's literally her name.
And I'm curious if, like, we can get any, like, fun. Just fun. Because we should be able to, like, buy some new things or whatever the heck. Let's see what's QWERTY up to. QWERTY can apparently turn into a missile launcher if we believe really hard.
I don't think you believe hard enough. I think you need to believe super hard for that to happen.
Well, I'm going to try my best.
This is a clap. Is this a clap your hands if you believe fairy scenario?
I mean, we literally have a fairy on the team, so it probably should be.
Damn it, you're right. I'm so mad that you're right.
Like...
Very upset every time I'm right. And I'm right all the time. I'm right so much, and it hurts. It hurts me. Deep in my core.
Reach level 29 to turn into a death machine.
All right, rad. Let's be the abomination. God forgot.
Death machine. And tiny cactus. We already did that. 420 blaze it needs a few more points.
Tiny cactus.
Redmond brought up Rocket Slime, which is a good game.
Oh, that game doesn't.
I'd really like to replay that game, but I remember it being a lot longer than I have time for.
It is significantly longer than it should have been, I think.
I'm remembering the first Dragon Quest Muso game, and how when I played that, and it starts out with this long introductory cutscene that just shows like a world where like Dragon Quest people and Dragon Quest monsters all live in harmony, and then like the villain like drives all the monsters insane and like forces you to fight them. And all I could think was that I have never felt more angry at a villain more instantaneously, because like I saw this beautiful, perfect world where like you could just hang out with Dragon Quest golems and slimes and shit, and they had taken it away from me.
That's probably the best way to start a video game and get you invested I've ever heard of.
It's incredible, and it made me realize that I want like a Dragon Quest Animal Crossing.
I mean, shit, that actually makes a lot of sense. Damn. I kind of want it too.
I mean, it feels like the Akira Toriyama designs from that whole franchise are just... They're ripe for something more than just constantly being hit with swords.
Can I just talk about how, like, I was playing Dragon Quest XI, like every so often, like, there'll be just, you know, new Dragon Quest games will add a couple new monsters. Like, not a ton, like, a lot of the more recent ones, they're like, oh, that's fine, but it's not, like, amazing.
Yeah.
But one of the ones that they added for 11 that apparently originated in canon is, like, officially one of my favorite Dragon Quest monster designs. Because it's like this tiny little boar in a giant, like, wizard hat, and it's just called a Sham Hat Witch.
That's like 4 levels of fun, and I'm not willing to interact on all of them.
Listen, I'm just gonna show you the Sham Hat Witch.
No, I remember you showing it to me. I don't remember what it looks like though, so go ahead and show me. I don't care.
Yeah, because it's so good.
What now?
Okay, Sham Hat Witch.
Whose soul will you touch?
Put in the Twitch chat though, so Zeph can enjoy it with us. Zeph and Brakeman.
Yeah, I'll put it in there. I'll also put it in other chats as well. So, but first, Twitch chat. Kabong.
Wow, that's a hell of a... My God, that's beautiful. Look at that little
Special
guy.
boy.
Here comes a special boy. Where
Think
out
about
our
that.
Smoochy Poo? Good God. What the fuck? Somebody wrote, "Where art thou, Smoochy Poo?" and said, "Yeah, sure, that's fine. Put it in the final game."
But yeah, I'm just thinking about Sham Hat Witch now. Because
That's like that fucking senator who got caught sexting, and all that was about how good he was at smooching because he was just that basic.
Guess who's come to rescue you?
And I knew that you would.
I'm still just. I'm refusing to think about that. I'm thinking about the Shame Hat Witch.
Good call. Good call. Continue to not think about it.
Oh, hey, it's like our original.
Oh, hey, it's Cactar.
Cactar Conductor.
And some other jerks who aren't Cactar, but Cactar's here. Yay!
You also just called the Tomberry Tom Dog.
Tom Dog.
I really hope it was spelled with 2 G's. I can't remember.
No, it was spelled D-A-W-G.
Well, that's almost as good.
Tom Dog.
The best of friends always give each other fun nicknames.
The way of the dog.
That's what we are,
Tom Bro.
Ton Bro.
Now hold on. I don't even know where to begin.
Best of friends always give each other
I called you
nicknames.
two.
Tom Bro.
Cactoodle. Mookie Pie.
Can you imagine it? You'd die of shame.
So these are just like
Wait,
little
does Cactar
asides.
always face the camera?
You win.
Because, like,
Yes.
he's not facing his friends.
Rapidly swapping to whichever place that the camera is pointing.
Oh, wow, yeah. That rules. That rules extremely.
Oh, what a pickle. So this Colosseum, which hides within a strange and mysterious mist that can connect it to whole other worlds.
Like somebody on the Final Fantasy World team or
Phenomenon.
World of Final Fantasy team was just like, yeah, I want to have a conversation between a Moogle, a Cactuar, and a Tonberry.
They were right. It should have been the entire game.
Yeah, like, I mean, this is probably the best thing we've seen so far.
Isn't this just Kokobo Dungeon?
Yes. No,
A lot of the times they don't talk in Chocobo Dungeon, especially the Chocobo itself.
You know, that's disappointing.
All right then.
They're too busy rogueliking.
I also want to point out that the material in the Tonberry's coat is kind of like
surprisingly
hypnotic.
detailed.
It's very textured.
Yeah. Looks like a burlap sack.
Which is great
Little
when you're
bit.
right next to the Cactuar. And of course, Moogles are naked.
Yes. Thank you.
Want to give this Tonberry a cowboy hat? I can see that. That was fun.
Sure, why not?
Get ready.
Yeah, just let me at 'em.
Bring it on.
Yeah, don't worry, we'll wrap it up soon after I kill a bunch of puppies.
I'm just saying, this is a long stream.
3 hours. 3 hours.
This is like the after bonus section or something like that.
No trouble at all.
All right.
I thought bonus section was supposed to, like, feel like a reward.
Yeah, yay, bonus! Just checking out if there's anything fun in these little, like, side stories we've unlocked.
Damn, you went harder than I would have.
I mean, I guess what's going on here is Tonberry's Coliseum is being invaded, so we have to murder things on its behalf.
Feel like that's, No, not dignifying that with an answer.
You know what just occurred to me, actually?
What?
This whole concept that, like, these characters have stories and we're just fighting on their behalf in their own stories. This is pretty much exactly what happens with Final Fantasy VIII, Laguna, and Squall.
Sure. Whatever.
Pete, we've already figured out you didn't play Final Fantasy VIII. It's okay.
I wasn't even being a dick about it that time. And believe me, you know when I'm being a dick.
We
I
are
don't
well
even
aware
try.
when you're being a dick.
It's very obvious.
Wow.
I'm sorry, the Cactuar said he can't move his arms, and that's normal.
That is normal.
Yeah, these are weird little side stories, because they seem to be just, like, framing devices for just random fights, but by the same token, isn't that what Final Fantasy is? I don't know. I feel like I've discovered some sort of existential dread here.
These guys saying, "Hey guys, I heard the church/the government is bad. Oh no, we should do something about it. How is the best way to do that? I know. Let's walk into the woods and kill everything we come across."
I mean, honestly, I mean, this is obviously never going to happen because graphics are there, but nobody's interested in it. But I would love to see a Final Fantasy game that just acknowledges that, I mean, I guess this is what Yoko Taro games are, but acknowledges that your heroes are just like murderous psychopaths.
I mean, that's
they'd be walking into like the next town to buy potions, just covered in the blood of like 9,000 wolves that they murdered on their walk over.
Okay, Counterpoint A, that's not a fun game. Nobody wants to play that shit. I don't want to play that shit, and I'm the guy who hates Final
I mean, again, it was basically Drakengard 3, come to think of it. But go on.
Drakengard 1, it's kind of all of Yoko Taro's games.
Counterpoint 2, though, I think it's more interesting when games do that without really realizing it. How to put this? Hold on, I need to look something up really quick so I can properly respond, because this is important to me.
So with that settled,
Never play Drakengard 1 without knowing who Yoko Taro is. That's why I can't play Yoko Taro games.
Oh.
You're supposed to feel bad about this.
Okay, the game...
I was spending the money, like, that was the rental I got. It's like, oh, it's a Square game. It just looked kind of neat, and then I play it, and it's like, oh, this fucking sucks, and I don't even care that it's not, that it's supposed to make me feel bad. I just hate the fact that I spent money on it.
That's fair. I feel like that's the most fair thing, actually. No, here's the thing. Recently, I believe in 2015, so not that recently, but kind of recently, a game called Alan was released. Right near the same time as a different game called Dropsy, which I have talked up quite a bit. Both of these games are about Jesus. And they're both surprisingly not subtle about it.
I have an idea, Kupo.
But Dropsy actually sort of understands that Jesus is about love and compassion. And Alum is an adventure game where the metaphor is Christianity. And adventure games, by their sort of like very nature, are kind of sociopathic. And that means Alum does some weird shit that's just sort of like, oh no, I wish you hadn't done that. That's basically what I think of when you guys talk about Drakengard. I think of Alum, the way it sort of has a message, but the nature of its medium is just so intrinsically fucked that it just sort of like kills itself, like before.
I mean, Drakengard is about how it's the nature of its medium is fucked, and like, get that, but at the same time, like, I don't know, man. Like, on some level, it's like every video game, by the nature of how its mechanics work, is going to carry with it some unfortunate implications. Right. And you kind of have to like come to grips with what unfortunate implications you're willing to allow and
just be willing to deal with that.
Yeah, no, I mean, that, like, I feel like the benefit of Drakengard is that basically you're doing nothing that's different from any other game, particularly games that were popular when Drakengard came out, like God of War. But
I mean, it's really specifically a Dynasty Warriors critique.
Dynasty Warriors, yes. And if you draw back and think about the fact that you have a kill count that says, like, 3,000, it's like, well, wait a minute, what does that actually mean?
Dynasty Warriors' response to that was to label all of them KOs somehow.
Yeah.
Knockout! You cut that guy in half. That's a non-lethal takedown.
Yeah, for me, it's like I get what that is, and like I've certainly played enough Yoko Taro in my life to know that that's like that is the theme he will go back to again and again. Like, and you know that's fine. People have favorite themes they want to iterate on, but at this point, it's just like, man, I'm tired.
See, like if it were me, I would have made the theme being tired. That's my favorite theme. That's why I am the inventor and only writer in the staggerfunk genre.
I feel like the most like interesting thing about Drakengard is that like it's built to punish you more the more that you think you can complete it. By like, the more effort you put into the game, the worse your ending. Because like the idea is like, oh, so many games like the more effort you put in, the better your ending becomes. Like eventually you'll get that good ending if you just stare into Drakengard long enough, and every single time it's like, no, you just made it worse. And it's like, I get that, that's cute. I'm tired, man.
Yeah, you definitely are supposed to be tired by the end of it.
I'm tired by the beginning of it, because it's like, I see where this is going, man.
It's like
I don't need to do 30 hours of this to see where you're going.
There's situations where, no, dude, it's not that hard to figure out where you're going here. Like, I get it, man.
It's like, I'm sure that it's good, but I mean, like, it's also just one of those things where it's like, Tara's writing style has never really spoken to me that much, so I've just never really gotten into the ones after that people like better.
Welcome to the...
Because, like I said, I was someone who played Drakengard 1 when it was new. And when no one had any idea what it was.
I mean, to a degree, I envy your conviction.
Like, it was just one of those things where it's like, oh, Square's making an action RPG. I trust them. I don't know what a cavia is. I very quickly learned to not trust anything made by cavia. Like, yeah, it's one of those things. Like, that first Drakengard. Like, the later ones are much less overtly, like, essentially telling you to fuck off for having bought them. Like, Nier is like an action game, and it's like it has things to say about that, but it's also not telling you that you're a piece of shit for buying it.
Well, I mean, Nier Automata, in my opinion, has the best thing I've ever seen, where at the end it turns out you can just purchase the trophies if you'd like them.
Yeah, that I do appreciate.
Trophies, in the words of Deathlock, it turns out we can just buy emotional validation.
That was great. But yeah, like that bit owns, I like that, but like Drakengard 1, think you're an asshole for having played.
Yeah.
You've got me thinking about my very favorite line from Deathlock ever, which is where Swissgar says, "Religions, I don't believe it. Show me proof that." And Nathan just looks at him for like a long second, then goes, well, okay, there's a Bible. And Swissgar looks at it and goes, huh, well, maybe I rethink my life.
Well, why don't you come
He's like, no. Like Nathan just said to him, like, he tried to explain it to him. He goes, you mean you don't believe in God? There is such a thing as religion.
Yeah, the idea, like, I don't believe religion exists.
Yeah, like, Nathan's just staring at him like, no, what you're trying to say is you don't believe in God, but religion does exist.
We can't escape that.
Well, okay, there's a Bible. Oh. Well, maybe I rethink my life. So great.
No trouble at all. How will you get home?
Look at all this stuff lying around here.
You know,
There's gotta be some relic
I decided to try this little one with Riku and Addy, the Adamantoys, because remember earlier when we got to ride a turtle and it had like a whole game mechanic, and I kind of thought that was going to wind up being like our ship for the game, but
yeah,
no.
That would, but no, it didn't happen. We didn't get to enjoy that.
You do that?
Wait, the turtle's back, and the turtle come back.
This is like we're checking in with what's going on across the world.
Oh.
These are like side stories that somebody got bored and made part of the game.
These things really make you think twice about opening treasure chests.
Yeah,
I mean, it's kind of weird another way to animate these far more interesting bits.
The only way to know what we'll find is to jump.
Oh, we're in their head, right? Right, I forgot.
Very uplifting.
Oh, wait, maybe we can,
Not to sound like I'm coming down on our group project that I'm very excited to be a part of, but this has been going on for a while, dude. I'm running out of ways to be funny. I ran out a while ago.
That's okay. Like 3 hours a week. Like you need the week to recharge. Think of like how can I insult Funko Pops today?
It's difficult, man. There are so many ways to do it, but you can't use them all at once, or else it gets stale.
Like, they have big heads, there's something wrong with their skulls. What is
Something
it?
wrong with their
People in the
eyes.
chat, please write in ideas that we could use to make fun of
Yeah, we
Funko
got a
Pop.
lot of ground to cover here. We can't cover this all at once.
Can we get, like, a guest star for next week? Like, somebody...
We can. I can put out some feelers. Maybe I can get somebody who either truly hates Final Fantasy, like me, or is totally ambivalent to it and has no idea what it is and is just upset and angry that they have to see it. No,
Like your idea space can only conceive the idea that like, oh, they will inevitably become as pissed off as I am.
I mean, is that so wrong?
Yes.
Look, I have to like draw from my own reference here, okay? I'm not omniscient. Or omniscient, I suppose.
Either one works.
No, if I were all powerful, everybody would hate Final Fantasy the way I hate Fantasy.
Of course.
I would just make that like one of the basic laws of being.
Why wouldn't you just eliminate Final Fantasy?
Because then I wouldn't be able to hate it. Try and keep up.
Can't even imagine wanting something to exist just anyway.
Well, it's like Control-Alt-Del. If it didn't exist, it would be necessary to invent it.
I feel like it wouldn't.
I don't know.
Hunting treasure, eh?
There's a certain like sense of community that comes with like everybody just really fucking hating something at the same time.
Perhaps it's time for an adventure of their own. I wonder.
We must be out of sight.
Like, right now we're learning about, like, the dreams of a giant turtle monster.
I mean, that sounds
That's
like
true.
Okay,
Like,
what do you
I can
think?
mess
Should I
that
do
up.
one more of these, or are we calling it a night?
I think we're far too cooked to do more.
Yeah. We tried, we tried the hardest.
It's hard.
That was actually
There's a lot of fun.
but sure, we can
Oh
go.
god,
that
it's
way.
almost midnight. What the hell happened?
Did you not know? Were
I
you just
wasn't
that-
watching the clock.
Okay.
Time flies when you're having fun.
God, I thought it was like 11. What if you really need to tell me when something has gone horribly wrong?
I told you that we've been doing this for 3 hours.
You need to make sure I'm actually listening to you.
We were trying, damn it!
Alright, well, we're going to call it a night for now. Thank you, everyone, for watching. I'm very disappointed nobody
I'm
provided
so sorry,
the link so I could
everyone.
buy more followers. But other than that, I think we're good.
My real
sorry,
power!
One day.
That will always be amazing to me.
Oh, 420 Blaze It has an even 777 HP.
Aww.
That's pretty good.
Good old 420 Blaze It.
He's a good guy.
We all love 420 Blaze It.
Alright. For now, good night and, like, good rest or something like that.
Good night and good luck.
420 Blaze Blue Smoke anime every day.
Ooh, excuse me.
Damn.
Dang.
Wow.
That was impressive. I'm impressed.
That's what happens when you get Dairy Cream before a stream.